Most people, I think, gloss over the 1920s Lincoln cent as a common coin because there were hundreds of millions of them made. But when you find one in really good condition, you can be talking thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Ones in really high red mint state conditions are virtually unobtainable. In 2025 alone, 3 different examples can show you just how valuable these can be. And the great thing is, I'm going to cover one example from each of the mints that made these coins. So that way, you can see all the different varieties. 1920 Lincoln cents were coming off of a post-war production surge from 1919. The US had kind of come out of World War I. They started striking enormous amounts of pennies to influx into the economy, and this was no different in 1920. There were over 300 million of these bad boys minted out of Philadelphia, close to 50 million out of Denver, and 46 million from San Francisco. So on paper, that sounds like one of those easy coins that you're going to find, a bit more than other wheat cents. But the real thing here is condition. A lot of these, especially out of Philly, were poorly struck, and they were really used a lot in circulation, so that handling really leaves a low amount of them out there that are in really good condition. True red or really, really beautiful color and condition survivors with original mint red coloring are a tiny fraction of the market, so when they hit the auction block, they always sell at really high numbers. Each one of these cents from 1920 should weigh 3.11 grams. They're composed of that same alloy that's been carried over since their introduction in 1909. It's 95% copper, with a little bit of tin and zinc to make up that other 5%. Now in today's market, fully red examples, especially those in higher MS grades, sit near the top of both registry competition, but mainly value. So let's look at those 3 examples I was mentioning. All of these are from the Whispering Pines collection. The first one is a Philadelphia true masterpiece. It's a beautiful coin, graded MS67 Plus Red with CAC approval through PCGS. It sold for $16,800 in the beginning of 2025. This Philadelphia coin really shows one of those high-end examples from a coin that had 310 million of them made. It's one of only 4 in that grade, with none finer. It has this beautiful fire orange, kind of gold and pale rose color that blends into that sharp strike. It has a great luster as well, which is a big factor when it comes to grade and condition of a coin, and it's on the obverse and reverse. It really puts it in a top tier. The coin's surface is also nearly flawless, but it does have a faint mark on the letter T in the word cent. A tip is that MS67 Reds or higher are the ceiling for this year. So even though this coin commanded a huge amount of value, you can see ones in lower MS grades from MS60 and higher still commanding hundreds or even thousands. The next one is from the Denver Mint, a 1920D graded MS66 Red. It sold for $15,600 in January of 2025, and this Denver issue is known for soft strikes and dull toning usually. But this one, being in a full red gem kind of prestige in that upper MS66 Red condition, really is kind of mythical. This coin is from the Bywald Whispering Pines Providence, so that adds to some of that value. It's one of just 10 MS66 Reds that are certified. It has a great luster, it's really intense, and one of the biggest eye appeal and draws to this coin. You'll notice when you look up 1920D Lincoln cents that red-brown or brown examples are going to sell for far less. However, when they're still graded pretty high, they're going to sell for the hundreds or even thousands pretty regularly. The third coin is out of San Francisco, and I think it's a bit of a sleeper. This one sold for $3,360 in the middle of 2025. It's graded MS64 Red, and it's an absolutely beautiful coin. I think that these San Francisco minted coins are often overlooked. Even mid-tier grades can sell for hundreds of dollars. This MS64 Red really glows with that golden copper brilliance that you see on a true red coin. And despite being 2 points lower than the others, It really has a scarcity in the color department and is a real standout. You'll see values really skyrocket with 1920S cents if they have a good eye appeal. A clean, fully red MS64 can outperform a duller MS65 or 66 on the market pretty regularly. So why do I think the 1920 stands out? It really reveals a fascinating truth. Even common date wheat pennies like this can become elite collectibles. It's not really about the mintage that defines the rarity, it's really the condition. The 1920 Lincoln cent marks a real turning point in early wheat cent production. It's a year that challenges collectors to think beyond the rarity. There's a ton of them out there, so you really have to focus on condition and preserving your finds over the years as they gain value. If you've come across a 1920 Lincoln cent, then don't pass it up. Make sure you bust out your loupe, your USB microscope, and really take a look at it. If it has pretty decent condition, then you're going to want to set it aside. You're going to want to throw it in a 2x2 flip or something and really preserve it, and think about getting it graded. If you really think it can come back at a higher grade, you might be sitting on hundreds or even thousands of dollars.